Ah, damn it, man. I've been rusty on the HHDG podcast. I'm playing the starting five shit. I played the 30-second countdown, which I never do. But, anyways, what up, everybody? I'm finally fucking back on this show. HHDG Media, the podcast. Exactly. Y'all know what to do with us as always. Hit up that HHDGmedia.com for everything great in underground hip hop, specifically underground hip hop for the most part. But the man, so I'm pointing the right way to the man who's responsible for most of the content you see on the website.
Peace, peace. Wiki as usual. Orbiting the neighborhoods, trying to give you that fly shit everywhere.
That's right. That's right. And last but not least, we got the two brothers from. Damn it! Do I have to say Boston, or is it surrounding, near, close to Boston?
Yeah, like surrounding.
Okay, because I got love for y'all, but I hate the Red Sox. We got my man Revalation and GoD. What's going on with y'all, brothers?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Chilling indeed, man. Well, first and foremost, because as tradition, we normally ask about the names. GoD, I'll start with you. Where did the name come from, and what is, like, I guess, the influence behind the name? Like, what influenced and inspired the name GoD?
I'm there. I wouldn't say that there was some like huge influence story behind it. I just always thought it was fly. I think it was 1998, maybe 99, where that really terrible Godzilla movie came out with Matthew Broderick and Puffy.
Matthew Broderick?
The Diddy one. The Diddy one, yeah.
Yeah, so, if you remember how video stores was when something first came out, there was like 1,000 videos of it. So nobody was renting this shit. And I just ended up like I'm looking at all of them. And I picked one up and my thumb was over the Z and I seen GoD and I was like, huh. And at the time I was dabbling in, hip hop or whatnot. And I started playing with the name and, some other ones or whatnot, some other names that didn't really catch on. But once I started messing with Rev and the Mike Murderers thing, it was fully like, yeah, this is the one to go with. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, that's dope. And so any relation to like the kaiju type monsters other than that story there?
Nah. I mean, the movies is fun to watch. I'll say that, but like, no, like it's not like it's some kind of an inspiration where those are the kind of like I'm more of like a Quentin Tarantino fan when it comes to movies and stuff like that. So the monster flicks, I peep them, but it's not like a huge inspiration for me, I would say.
Gotcha. We still actually know. Those who know what's inside Marcellus Wallace's briefcase by now. But Rev,
yeah,
it's on you. The name for Revalation.
So, yeah, man, I wish I had like a cool story like that. I don't really the name just stems from for a long time when I first started emceeing, I think I was like 14, 15 writing rhymes, and me and my boy, we were like recording on like a karaoke machine, like fucking around, and we were just like throwing names out there, trying to come up with MC names and like a group name and all that. And I said Revelation, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wanted something that meant something, and I was like, well, Revelation in the Bible, Revelations, like it's like the beginning of the end. So I wanted to kind of represent that when it came to like hip hop. I wanted to make it like coin it in a way that was like the beginning and the end of the bullshit. You know what I mean? Because when I first started like picking up the pen and shit, it was like the shiny suit era, and like, I was like 13, 14 and just writing little rhymes and shit, fucking around. But like, I wasn't too into all that. You know what I mean? I like the conscious shit. I like, my uncle had me listening to like Public Enemy and KRS-One and Rakim and shit like that at a young age. So that was what I preferred. You know what I mean? Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, stuff like that. So when I started actually writing, I wanted something with substance, and that name just ended up sticking, and everybody just started calling me Rev, and it just stuck.
Yeah, you literally had a revelation
Literally,
There's the name.
literally. Yeah.
That's dope. I mean, we all kind of got our own origin stories with names and stuff. Like I could say Wiki, it was given by the group. The mayor was given by the group, given by who's probably in another room right now. But my DJ name, I can tell you specifically, Ace 5, because 5 was my favorite number by way of damn it, the 5 Deadly Venoms. And because I was the strong man in the crew, I became Toad. Another incident happened that certified why I was the Toad, and I can tell that later. But then the Ace part literally came from playing spades at the lunch table in school. In high
That's
school.
what's up. That's what's up.
That's what the Ace part is. But everybody, that's why we always kind of start with that, because some people have us like iLLa. That's just crazy off chance of picking up a box with your thumb over it. That's fucking sick. That's sick. That's sick. But you mentioned listening to Public Enemy, KRS, BDP. Last night's verses. What was y'all thoughts on it? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll let iLLa go first. I don't know if he saw it, but I'll let him take the.
I did it. I was at my mom's and then my boys all day last night, so I actually didn't catch it. And it's one of those things where I got a long drive to work, so I usually just download the list and I play them when I drive to work because I don't catch them live. So, but I am kind of upset because those are two of my favorite. I was always a big Daddy Kane dude, and I mean, I get the job done was playing a lot when I was a kid in Philly. So I definitely, it's definitely something I want to peep, man. But I'm ashamed to say I did not see it last night.
You said Philly. Before I get to you, Rev, you're from Philly?
I was born there. I've been in Massachusetts longer, but I was born in Philly.
Okay. So I can't. All right, I'll leave the Eagles fan question out of it because I'm a New Yorker who's an Eagles fan.
I am an Eagles fan. I'm a Birds fan.
We suck ass this year, but my man. My man. But Rev, last night's verses though.
Yeah, man. So I didn't get to watch it last night. I watched the replay this morning. So usually what I do is like with the verses, I don't like really watching them live because like a lot of times like I feel like it'll mess with like kind of my view of it, like because you see people commenting and shit. I don't want to be influenced by that. So I usually like to watch it the next day, you know what I'm saying? After it kind of dies down a little bit. So I watched it at the gym today and it was amazing. I mean, what can you say? Those dudes are like, they're like the epitome of hip hop, both dudes. And I will give credit to BDK because honestly, I'm a huge like KRS fan. Originally, I'm from the Bronx. So I'll tie that in with this question. So I was born in the Bronx. I moved to Mass when I was 10. So, South Bronx specifically. So KRS was like a superhero to me, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was listening to him at a young age. And despite, I know he's had like some certain, things that he said and done and kind of turned people off, the shit with Africa Bambaataa and all that. But aside from all that, to me, he holds a special place in my heart because I grew up listening to him at a young age and he was from the same area I was from. So, I just, I was blown away by how dope it was. And I was actually impressed by BDK. Not that I don't think he's nice. He's always been nice. But like live, I wasn't sure because I've seen KRS live 3 times. And all 3 times he blew my socks off, freestyling off the dome for 20 minutes, like jumping into the crowd. Like, and this is a dude like he's older and he still does shit like that. So for BDK to match his energy and come with that energy, with that clarity, like I was impressed, man. They both killed it.
Yeah. Kane is definitely one of the illest stage performers, but Chris too. Like Ian, what was your take on it? Because I know with me, like I was gonna chill, like Rev said, and wait till today, because like I sit there and I try to watch a versus live and the comments, like nobody gets any love in the comments other than blue check mark people, you know what I'm saying? And then they get annoying. You get 1,000 people in a row saying, "Oh, that's Stop the Violence. That's Stop the Violence. Stop." How many? We know the song that is playing. We know the song that's playing. You don't have to tell us all. But then you
Right.
get the little funny jokes here and there and stuff like that, and like it last night's drew me in to actually staying the rest of the night and watching it because I was gonna chill because I was excited for it. But like you, Rev, I wanted to wait. Like the way you mentioned it was like kind of like taking that approach like with battle rap, where in
Yeah.
battle rap, it's totally different when you're in the building compared to when you take it home and watch it on YouTube. And I know that firsthand from my years working with RBE. It was a total different thing holding the camera and taking it in from behind the camera to seeing the finished product. And it's
Yep.
easier to see the finished product than just let it ride out.
Yeah.
But Ian, let it ride on your comments on the verses last night.
Me personally, after a few verses, I ignore the comments. If I can, I could turn it off and just just enjoy it. I'm watching it live. I'm not physically there, but I still like that energy. That you're seeing and hearing. But KRS One, what was he like? 55, 56 now. I love seeing his energy on stage like that. It's never changed.
Word. And I like you just dispel some of the rumors for the people who's like, let's keep it real. Both them old brothers got tired after a little while. Like Kane wasn't Kane wasn't missing nothing lyrically, but you could tell when he was getting there. Like he was like, I'm getting too old for this shit, Danny Glover style. Like I'm getting too old for this shit. Like,
you know when you could tell? Remember when he tried to go into the crowd and he tried to sit on the edge of the barricade and put his legs over? It took him a minute to get into the crowd, and I was like, oh man, it ain't like it used to be.
Not at all.
He would have leaped that in one fell swoop when he was younger, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was dope to see one of his dances. I don't know if it was Scoob, right, that came out, or Scrap.
I believe it was Scrap.
Okay,
yeah,
well, it was
they
dope.
were doing the
to
dance together.
Yeah. We got a little bit of that vibe late, but then for me, we got to talk about the funny part here. And iLLa, when you see this shit, you're gonna laugh about as hard as we're gonna laugh right now. When Das Effects came out, one of the illest pops of the night. Because a lot of people didn't expect that. But probably the funniest thing out here all week. Yo, we'll see you when we get our verses.
Yeah. I'm calling it now. Them versus Foo Schnickens.
I'm with that. Bring out Shaq. Yo, bring Shaq back. Can we rock? What's up, Doc? Can we rock? Come on now. I'm with that. No, you know
funny,
what?
Though.
That was funny. The way he said it was like that was solidified, like the next verses.
Right.
Exactly. Right. It's like, nah, nigga, sit down. But yeah, so you said Foo Schnickens, though. Foo Schnickens versus Bush Babies for me would be it.
Oh, Bush Babies. It's funny. I was listening to Bush Babies today, actually. Randomly, it came on a mix.
I play that Ambushed album whenever I can, man, because that's such a heavily slept on and hard to find album to buy too. Like really hard to find album to buy.
My boy Chico Lance is up in here. Chico, what up?
Yeah, what's up?
I seen their little comments popping up.
Yeah, like when we was talking about the Eagles and we got this. They suck ass every year. They suck ass till we beat them Patriots, but I digress.
Oh no, listen.
No, I see that, Edelman. I see that. Edelman gets mad respect from me, and hate him or hate him. Y'all Patriots at the time, y'all were nice. Y'all got respect because to do what y'all did with such a little, not little cast, but like always with lesser known, unknown talent.
Yeah.
For what they always turn around, what they've turned around for, 20 years almost, 20 years. Now, it hurt me back in the day. I was never a Patriots fan, but Drew Bledsoe was one of my favorite quarterbacks coming out of college.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to see that turnaround for Brady, and that just hurt my feelings, but he still got that ring because he was still a part of the squad. But
Yo, you know who's hurt by that? My boy M Dot. M Dot from EMS. That was his favorite player was Drew Bledsoe. So much so that in our fantasy league, his name is Dot Bledsoe. That's his team name.
dope, man. Well, let's get into a little bit of y'all. A little bit of y'all rap careers and rap histories. Like, what years did y'all start rapping?
I'll let iLLa go first.
Together or just in general?
Well, just in general, because I got something for the together part that leads into when we discuss the album.
I would say I started writing in about 95, 96 was when I first started writing. It was like getting out of 8th grade, going into high school. And needless to say, I actually have everything that I ever written. So I have a folder.
Nice.
Like
Wow.
this thick.
That's dope.
Like piece of paper and stuff in it. So it's funny to go back and read that stuff because it was not good. But,
that's something every MC says too. Every MC says that shit.
Yeah. It's funny when you looking at it and you can see yourself trying to find yourself, and then the little spots where you actually got confident, and then when you actually feel like you were actually good enough to do this. So it's a good reminder. And anytime that I get like, I would say like writer's block or something, I go back and I look it up because a lot of them from back at that time too were dated. Like I used to always sign and date when I would finish a verse. So I can see the day that I wrote it or whatnot, or when I finished it, and I always that's pretty cool to have. So around 95, 96 is when I started writing.
And that's dope because like you immediately reminded me of, I don't know if y'all are wrestling fans, but you immediately reminded me of Chris Jericho.
Huge
Where
wrestling
Chris
fan.
Jericho, my man, Chris Jericho has books or multiple books of every single match he's ever wrestled, with the times, the dates, locations, win, loss, all of that shit. So don't ever lose that. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For me, I started I started writing at like I said, like 13, 14. I was in like junior high school. So it was like, I want to say like probably 96, 97, something like that. And then, but that was like just messing around, like, you know what I mean? It started out as like poetry and like, just, rhyming words and shit. And then more so like, I'd say like later in high school, that's when I started to write like actual verses, you know what I'm saying? Like putting together at 16 and doing shit like that. And then I'd say once I went to college, I'd say that was probably when I really started like learning like song structure and shit like that, how to put together a whole song with a hook and verses and all that. So yeah, I was like 17 or something, like freshman year, I'd say, of college, and that's when I started first recording too. So I was recording in my dorm room on a computer microphone. That was probably like $10 and fucking sounded like trash. So those early recordings, they're somewhere on my old roommate's hard drive, I'm assuming. But
that's dope, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So I used to just fuck around like that. I turned my we used to have like these little accordion closets that you could like open and like hang shit in. So I took out everything and turned it into a booth. And then I had a like an old Radio Shack mic I ended up getting from a friend because the computer mic wasn't cutting it. So I had an old Radio Shack, like a performance type mic, but it was like a cheap low end one. And I ended up cutting a hole through the top and putting it through so I could record. So that's how I first started, humble beginnings.
No word. And I mean, Ian, I feel like we're the old heads on here tonight, but you remember days of like taking the headphone, remember, and putting it into the microphone jack and talking into the headphone. And I used to use that shit when like back in like when we all first kind of started DJing and shit like that. I know in 96 in my boy Flip's basement when I started, like we definitely used to do shit like that with the microphone. We didn't rhyme. We was down there scratching and shit like that, but everybody's got to start from somewhere. Everybody got to start from those humble beginnings. which brings me to the album, The Revolutionaries, which is the dope play on words with the Rev ill into the Lucian. So that I take it that y'all are both Aries.
Mhm.
No, actually, you know what? It's
Oh.
funny. It's funny because the name, the way the name came about was like, I actually, you know what? I'm gonna let Ella tell this story because he tells it better than I do, because he came up with like the first iteration of the name. So I'll let him tell this story.
We was recording the album and we went out to lunch and we didn't have a name for it yet. And it was me, Rev, my man Liz, my man Brandon. And I said, yo, I was thinking that we could do a play on our names for the name of the album. I think we should call it The Revolution and have like iLLa in it, Rev in it. Crickets. Nobody said anything. So I'm like, oh, shit, this was stupid. I was like, I guess nobody liked it. This dude texted me like 4 hours later. He's like, yo, man, that's a good idea. So why did you say that then? So when I went to his crib the following week when we was working on the album, he actually came up with Revolutionaries as a whole way to get Rev and iLLa in there. And so it was actually a real good team effort to come up with that name.
Yeah, and basically the idea, obviously it's a play on both our names because Rev and iLLa's in there, but instead of revolutionaries like just spelled the normal way, like ill was like a big word back in like a big slang word when we were growing up and shit. Everybody's like, yo, that's ill, that's ill. So I just thought that would be a good throwback to that era. Because the album is very much drenched in that boom bap sound, you know what I mean? It has some newer stuff too on there, but like it's very entrenched in the boom bap sound. So I thought that would be a good throwback to it too. And so it was just like the title is pretty much it represents like kind of like the revolutionary within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you change yourself and make yourself better? And in doing so, you can kind of change the world around you by starting with yourself. So that's kind of, so as the album went along and progressed, that's kind of what the meaning became. So it started out as just like a fun, like, trying to include the names, and then it kind of took on like a real meaning behind it.
Yeah, no, I could tell. And I listened to it today on the ride home, as you are supposed to customarily do in hip hop, give it the whip test.
Yeah.
And for me, an album to catch me and to latch on to me, because I'm listening to more podcasts than music all the time. It has to tell a story. And this album clearly tells that story. Which I wanted to get into the first full song, which is Back at It. But I really wanted to ask the opener. Within that opening intro, like there was all types of inspirational messages and things like that. But the one that caught me was the opening person who spoke, which was George Carlin. What was the connection for George Carlin in opening the album?
So I found that sample, and I sent it to iLLa, and I was just like, yo, I think this would be a good fit, because like by then we had the title, we had pretty much, I think, most of the album recorded, and we were trying to get like a solidified intro. So I basically, we put our heads together, me, iLLa, my homie List from our crew, the Mike Murderers, and we were just trying to like figure out ideas that represent the album, that revolutionary like state of mind. And to me, in comedy, George Carlin represented that. Like he was always that anti, like angry old man. Like he never kind of went with the flow. You know what I'm saying? He dressed the same from the first stand-up that you saw him in to the last stand-up. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't wearing suits. He wasn't wearing like expensive clothes. He just looked like somebody's grandfather, and he was funny. You know what I mean? But he told the truth, and I thought that was really important. And I remember hearing that, like watching that stand-up and hearing that part when I was in college, actually. My boy Ryan, he was a huge George Carlin fan. He was like, yo, I got the new stand-up or whatever. Let's watch it. So ever since then, that particular part stuck with me, and I always wanted to use it on something. And I showed it to, to the guys, and they were like, yeah, that would be dope. So it just kind of, it flowed, and it was the right timing for it, pretty much.
Nice, because it's like I heard him, I heard bits of Denzel. You heard even within the album, you heard The Rock also,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and we all know all of those names mentioned have some type of inspirational type of speech. Like The Rock is probably the most inspirational person in the freaking world, yet
Right.
the heights that man is at is damn near astronomical, feels unachievable, but yet he still makes you feel like you can get there too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because, so like when people think of The Rock, like probably the first thing they think of is wrestling, right? Because that's what made him famous. But the dude's like a renaissance man. He does everything.
Mm-hmm.
He just rapped on fucking Tech Nine's album. You know what I'm saying? Like he could do anything. So
Fact.
part of the reason why I included that is not just because of the quote and because it's one of those light some fire under your ass quotes that he says, but it kind of tied in. Like everything's tied in. There's little reasons for everything. So iLLa, I actually met iLLa through wrestling. So iLLa used to do like indie pro wrestling. And that's actually how I met him, through my boy List, because they were wrestling together. And I used to go to events, and that's how we kind of connected. And then from there, we realized we both did music. So The Rock is kind of like that. It kind of ties that all together in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a subtle way of like putting somebody from wrestling, but also kind of paying homage to how I met iLLa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's ill. And I mean, now I have to ask, where did you wrestle? What was your wrestling name? I gotta know. I gotta know, because I've been a huge lifelong fan that I should have gotten into the sport. I'm 41 years old. I'm still considering thinking about it, even though shit hurts on the body all the time now. But
Yeah.
I need to know. I need to know.
My wrestling name was the Messiah, and I was a heel. I was a bad guy, man. And I was backyard wrestling, and my man knew about these people that was doing this indie stuff in New Bedford, and that's how I met List. And List lived near Rev, and I mean, they lived in the same projects. And he was like, "Yo, I know this." I spit for List a few times. He had got that's when he ended up introducing me to Rev. But wrestling is like, I love hip hop. Wrestling is my first love. Like I love wrestling, man. I still watch it to this day. And I mean, like whether it be WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan. I love wrestling, man. I love checking it out. So I'm always, as soon as you were saying stuff about Jericho, I was like, yep, I remember hearing about that. Like, I'm a huge fan of it, man. Huge fan.
Yeah, likewise, man. I gotta say, AEW really brought me all the way back in, like fully invested in professional wrestling, man. Because AEW to me gave me the vibe of what we used to see. And even from what we used to see in the WWE, like the WWE, back in the era of the quote unquote attitude era, or even before, like it didn't feel as scripted as Vince McMahon has it scripted nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
and AEW gives it. Tony Khan almost gives control back to the wrestlers to a point, because we all seen what happened with Max Caster recently. We seen what happened with Max Caster. And now, because I mentioned him, what's your point of view on Max Caster and his bars coming down to the ring? I love him, even though he raps like 1988 style, 86 style, but
I think that's
the
what
man
makes
is
it.
funny
I
as
think that's
hell.
what makes it. Yeah, I think that's what makes the gimmick dope, though, is that no matter what, he's feeling himself, man. I thought Tony coming out and taking them bars from him was good, because it kind of squashed the whole thing when he got suspended before. So he got suspended for saying the stuff about Simone Biles, and I forgot who else, what else he had mentioned, but that got him off of TV for a while. It cost him some money, and a lot of people were speculating about his career. And Tony Khan coming out and being part of that to me just kind of showed that it was over. Dude learned his lesson and they moved on. And I'm saying that he's a talented dude, so he's going to be used on the show.
Yeah, and still cutting up on people to this day, with
Yeah.
edits by Tony Khan, but but this whole wrestling thing and how y'all two met brings me to where I wanted to get to, which is the first track, Back at It. Like in that track, the way y'all rhymed and the lyrics and everything, it sounded like it's been a minute for y'all. And it was almost like a reintroduction to y'all spitting again. Break that track down for us.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, basically, so we met and we had done a bunch of mixtapes, like I want to say 3 or 4 mixtapes, iLLa, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So we did like 3 or 4 mixtapes with our crew, the Mike Murderers. So obviously I'm in a crew, EMS, you know what I'm saying? And my other crew is the Mike Murderers. So that's me, iLLa, List, Sinuous. There's a bunch of us. There was like 7 of us, and we did a run of mixtapes, and then we just kind of fell back for a while. You know what I mean? Life happened. People were getting older. People getting married. Different shit. People having kids. Different life responsibilities. Like shit happens, right? So I still kept doing music and doing stuff and releasing things and doing some solo stuff, doing stuff with EMS, doing features and just doing stuff like that. iLLa did a solo and he did some other stuff. And basically, I was in Europe with M-Dot. We were touring and I hit up iLLa and I was like, yo, when I get back, let's do this. Let's do this album. Because we had been talking about it for a minute, you know what I mean? But it never materialized. So I had heard some newer stuff that he was working on. And I was like, yo, this is the time. Like, I loved what he was working on, like the new shit that he was showing me. And I was like, yo, this is the time. Like, this is the perfect storm right now. So when I get back, because I wanted to start working when I got back. And I heard what he was doing, and I thought it would be a great combo. You know what I mean? So I hit him up, and I was like, when I get back, let's start working. And that's what we did.
Dope. And iLLa, from your point of view?
From Back at It, well, that's actually one of the, we both obviously came up with different concepts in the album. Back at It was mine. I knew it felt to me this track had to happen for the rest of the album to happen. Like, we hadn't been together. It was like when we got, it wasn't like there was anything, anything wrong between us or whatnot. It just been a really long time. And there had been a lot of different things that had happened in both of our lives or whatnot, whether it was good or bad, a lot of ups and downs that we weren't there for each other for. And I thought it was good to address it and kind of put it out on the table or whatnot. And they did. It was, the funny thing is, we wasn't even in the same room writing the song together, but the conversation came together very well on the track. So to me, that right then, with the way that song came together and getting that all out in the open, just made everything else that much easier in the album.
Dope. I mean, and Ian, you could take it away now, but I mean, we would not really went through, but we kind of went through the same thing in a way too, where most of our 20s, we weren't back together again and as tight as when we were younger until now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because lesser known to y'all, me and him, well, yeah, I'm pointing the right way now. Me and him go back to damn near birth because our moms were best friends, and now we're business partners.
Oh, okay,
family for life. You know what I'm saying?
I never knew that. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Take it away, Ian.
Dope. Now, talking about what he was just mentioning with the two of you, with your connecting. When you listen to the album, it sounds like the two of you never missed a step. I mean, you have that chemistry, and then when with the videos like A Game and I've Been, you see it the same way.
For sure. Yeah, man. Go ahead, Ian. I'm sorry.
Well,
No, I
and
was
I
gonna
was
say,
saying,
just how did that feel? You know, reconnecting like that.
and
For
after
me,
you comment on that, after y'all comment on that, if you don't mind, for the people on YouTube, I'll drop a little bit of the A game video on here if y'all don't mind.
For
what's
sure,
up,
for
man?
sure. But go ahead, Ella.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. What was the question?
He just said, how did it make us feel like reconnecting? Because we look like we didn't lose our chemistry.
Yeah, some people in life, man, I feel like you just have it with them. A certain group of friends, like you said the truth. Y'all not fell off, but you had life got in the way, and then y'all got back together. There's certain people that you cool with where it was just meant to be. And I mean, with Rev, it was just when I did solo stuff, it wasn't the fact that I didn't enjoy it, but I knew there was a missing link to it. You know what I'm saying? So when you have those type of people around that's a real good ear and that kind of motivates you and pushes you to be a certain way, it to me it works that much easier. And with Rev, I feel like I always do my best work around him, whether it's just him, helping out, like, hey man, this sounds good, blah blah blah, with an opinion, or just working on music in general. And so I didn't really have a fear as whether or not we were going to connect. I was just hoping I can keep up with this dude because his bars is crazy like that. So I was just making sure that I just wanted to make sure that I brought my, no pun intended, A game. And other than that, he makes it easy to work with him. His work ethic is infectious, man. So I never had any fear that the chemistry would be gone.
Yeah, man. And same here, the chemistry was just, it's natural. Some people you have that natural chemistry with, and you can see it in the videos. A game, I've been like, we're friends first. So that pours through in the music, you know what I mean? And I think what you hear in the music is like true friendship, but it's also like competitive because hip hop's competitive, you know what I mean? And as humble as iLLa is, he's a great MC, man, and lyrically he's a monster, you know what I mean? So it pushes my pen game, and we just both push each other, and it's a great compliment to each other.
Yeah, as it should go. That's exactly how it should go. And YouTube, all the streaming platforms. We just got the okay to play this, so please don't strike us, you motherfuckers. Please don't strike us.
Sharp. Okay. He's ready for this.
Now I'm mad I missed out on adding in on this one because y'all asked for the workout videos.
Yeah.
We gotta get rid of.
Yo, we gotta put them out.
I should have, but
so I got some.
how else would it work to work out with the dad bods, the fellow dad bods?
This right here. That's the CEO. And in all our videos, there's always a concept. You know what I mean? We always try to have concepts and do non. Like we don't want to do just stereotypical boring videos.
No, I feel you.
Competition starting to get thick. It's the click, so I hope you work your A game. A made no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game. Better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick. It's the click, so I hope you work your A game. A made no rain from the track.
So here's a tidbit. My boy in the tie-dye shirt, that's my boy List from the Mike Murderers. So he's the other member of the Mike Murderers. So he plays the character that we're trying to get into shape in the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get the scrawny guy. I get it. Just a little sample. Sorry to cut you right at your spot, iLLa, but just a little sample, just a little taste. I'm sure everybody watching has seen the video already.
They got to go. They got to go to YouTube if they want to see the rest.
Definitely.
That's right.
Get the views up. Get the views up.
That's right. That's right. Make sure. That's right. Go to the Revelations of EMS YouTube. Subscribe like we are. Hit that up. Hit that up.
Y'all definitely entertainers, and being that y'all are big wrestling fans, it shows too in the videos.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of it too is just like having fun. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of times rap videos, everybody's too serious, and I think, that's cool if that's what you want to do. But like, I feel like videos that have more replay value are the ones that are fun. You know what I mean? Like the ones where you just like you have a blast doing it, and I think that comes through in the video, and people will watch it over and over. You know, in my opinion, those are the videos I like to watch. Like I love like old De La Soul videos where they're just doing silly shit. You know what I mean? It makes it fun and it makes you want to watch it again and again.
Yeah,
Plus,
100%.
it's not really hating on what anybody else does, but I think it's cool to put some effort into it and be different, opposed to just rapping in front of a building or something like that. So, you know, going out of your way to actually put effort into it and, you know, some thought into what the video is supposed to be or could be, to have some fun with it.
Yeah, 100%. As independents, you got to find that loophole to stand out. You got to do it, and the more entertaining, the better.
Yeah, he definitely remind me of some of the Redman videos.
Yeah. He's another one too, man. That's great with that type of stuff. And like when we do these video treatments and stuff, we go through a lot of back and forth. Like me and iLLa were throwing around ideas, you know what I mean, and getting input from other people. And we go through a bunch of different ideas before we land on these and actually film them. You know what I mean? Like the video, it'll start as one thing, like for a song, and then it'll become like originally the A Game was gonna be a wrestling video. We couldn't get a ring in time. So what it was gonna be, it was gonna be us training like a dude, like teaching them how to wrestle, basically.
Sorry, DL did a Redman video, right?
Yeah. DL, who shot our A Game video, he's actually worked with Redman. He shot stuff for Redman. He shot stuff for Onyx. He shot stuff for everybody. Cool G Rap. He was just working with Cool G Rap last week. So he's the dude that directed this video. And he's great. He's great to work with, man. He's very professional, very on point. That's so fire. If people need videos, Mr. DL, look him up on YouTube.
Dope. We could definitely. I ain't against shouting them out, even though we got a nice crew over here too. But
yes.
Big ups to him. And again, keep us in mind, man. We'll make the drive up for a shoot, especially a wrestling one. If I have to for y'all, I'll hit up my man Brian from the UWO podcast. He's out of Rhode Island, and I know he's in tune with a lot of independents and independent companies and stuff, man. That's dope. Speaking of Rhode Island, real quick, to sidebar off the album and throwing it back to Ian, I seen your DJ Franchise video, and I got familiar with him by way of the video I sent you. How did that connection come about? With I guess it's just promoting the album, I guess, and getting around.
Yeah, pretty much. So Franchise. I've been following Franchise for a minute. Obviously, he's out in Providence, and that's probably like 30 minutes from where I am. It's not very far. So I'm in Mass, but he's like 30 minutes. Providence like 30 minutes from me. So because I'm in the South Coast of Mass, so I'm like an hour south of Boston. So just following him on social media, and so my boy Lamont is actually one of the people involved with the show. So he reached out to me actually on Facebook, and he was like, yo, we got to have y'all up here to promote the album. And I was like, yo, it's perfect timing because I've been trying to get up there. But it's always the timing never works. So when he reached out, it was just perfect timing for it. And we set it up, and when we went over there and we did our thing.
Dope. I just wanted to shout that out because, as I showed you, my boy Kareem, aka Reem, he did his thing on there, and I only got familiar with that radio show because of them in the Growing Pains podcast. So shout outs to them, shout outs to Rhode Island and all of that.
Definitely.
I hear Iz and Aiden talking in the background. Tell them I said hi and I love them.
Definitely. Yeah. When you mentioned Catalyst before, you remind me of one of my favorite Mike Murderer tapes. That's the Killer Tape 09.
Yeah.
One of the tracks that GoDilla killed was 24 Hours to Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's digging way back in the crates. Okay.
For real.
That's a dope tape, man.
Yeah. That was fun to do. To this day, I'm still not sure what my man was talking about at the beginning. My man, I wish you could see the faces in that room when he was talking. Like,
yeah, my boy did the intro, and nobody knew what he was talking about, but I just hit record just because like he started talking, and I was trying to understand like what he was trying to say, and I'm like, I'm just gonna record this. Maybe we could use it somewhere, and it ended up being the intro.
Wow.
I didn't hear it, but that sounds like some old Uncle Howie shit.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. It was a funny moment, and it ended up just being memorable because like to this day we still don't know what the hell he's talking about. But yeah, that tape, man, that tape was definitely me and List. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that tape. I'm glad that you brought that up, man, because to segue actually, Ian, right now we're working on a Mike Murderers project. So me, Catalyst, iLLa, Sinuous, Diaz, we're all kind of joining forces again, and we're trying to put out a Mike Murderers album. So it'll be coming. We're starting off slow. We're gonna put out some products, some singles and stuff, just to see how we grab people. And yeah, probably late next year we should have some type of body of work for y'all.
yeah,
That's dope.
That sounds dope.
Yeah.
Once again, however we could get in where we could fit in, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
selling us.
Yes, for sure.
that's what's up, man.
Keep going, Ian. Well, how much
Yeah.
further we gonna dig down? We gonna go close to the center. We gotta hit the mantle. I told him I was slogan for you earlier before we all jumped on that. This man can find an MC in Iowa under a mountain that spits fire.
Facts.
And has people like shout outs to Chico who just followed us on Instagram and says he can't wait for that fire.
That's dope.
Ian to
What
get
up,
that
Chico?
for you, just like these brothers are gonna deliver it to you.
Yes, sir. What up,
Yeah,
Chico?
that's dope, man.
Yeah, man. Ian be digging, yo. He be finding stuff from the woodworks. He probably has some stuff that I probably forgot about on his playlist, honestly.
That's what's dope, man. You need, but he's a necessity to the music game, man. You need people like that.
Sure.
Just getting his name out there. You know what I'm saying? So I 100% respect that. Love it. Love to hear it.
1000%.
Yeah, man. We appreciate what you guys do, man, and thank you for having us because these type of platforms and stuff, it's like we need this type of stuff as indie artists, man, to be able to like have honest conversations and really kind of promote the music, but also just promote who we are as people, which doesn't always get touched on in a lot of interviews, you know what I mean? But we're human beings like everybody else. We like to laugh and joke. So it's nice to have platforms like that where you could just be yourself.
Well, that's thank you for that, and it's 1000% truth because this the beauty about podcasting, man. Like we was talking on my show yesterday. We was talking about the whole cancel culture issue and things like that, and about how the internet has provided voices for a lot of shitbag people, especially by way of Twitter, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of shitbags that are over there that utilize the platform. It's a necessary evil, but yet a necessary good. And podcasting in general is a necessary good to where it does give people like us voices to get any type of word or our opinions out there, because we all know, one, it's hard to get on a lot of these talking head shows, and two, if you ain't paying a lot of these talking head shows, you ain't gonna get there.
Right.
So why not have these free platforms to each one teach one type of mentality, each help each other out? That's the way it should be. That old school, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine type of mentality. That shit goes a long way. And shout out to the homie Will Strickland. Whenever I talked to him for about an hour a couple of nights ago, but we always, in every conversation, we eventually talk about connective tissues and relationships. And it's always about building said relationships, because you never know the next person that could either put you in position for something, or you just might help that next person out. So it's always about relationships. And
yeah, man.
Rev,
100%.
you've been down with us in HHDG for at least 6 or 8 years now, and it's always been love, and it's always been about just keeping the friendly relationships besides a lot of the bullshit drama that not even drama, but a lot of the BS that goes on in the group. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
weeding out the group's incels, if you want to call them that. They're not truly
yeah,
incels. They're
yeah,
just
yeah.
incels to their love for what they love. Is how I mean it. But
Well, it's
of course,
always
man, it's always
I'll say this, right? One of my favorite things, and this is why I like joined the group, and this is why I stayed in the group, is because one of my favorite things is like being able to discover people I might not have heard of. You know what I mean? Because I'm still a fan. Like even though I do music and I have this passion for it and put out material and tour and do all this stuff, I'm a fan. Like first and foremost, I'm a fan. I love hearing new artists. I love hearing new people and seeing what people are doing. So that's what the group is great for, man. It's great for that. It's also great for nostalgia purposes, you know. Somebody I ain't heard, like you were talking about Bush Babies and shit. I love that I can go in there in the morning, like you know what I'm saying, when you know I'm on my way to work or whatever, and just kind of scroll through and be like, yo, I ain't heard that in a minute, and then go and play that. So it's good for those things. Obviously, like you said, sometimes there's little things, you know what I'm saying, people get into it or whatever, but all in all, man, it's needed, man. You need shit like that to really like just remind you of your love for the culture.
true indeed. True indeed.
Definitely. Now, one thing I got to
Keep
give props to is Rev's work ethic. You know, he's nice on a mic, but behind the scenes, this guy is not only promoting his music, EMS's music. There's other artists that he's affiliated with, and it's not just him promoting it, it's how he promotes it. He's very professional with it, and I give him a lot of respect for that, because the emails that I get, I appreciate what you do with that. I mean, he's all over social media. He's on his IG live. You know, much respect on that, because you know
I appreciate it.
get the quality of music out there. You know, that's how.
and the
For
funny
sure,
ass
man.
memes. And the
Yo,
funny
hey,
ass memes
that too.
daily too.
yo, that's my
Well,
shit, man. I want to put people on to dope hip hop, and I want to make people laugh. So it's the two things I like doing. So I want other people to share in that. So that's what it is, man. And also too is like, you know, I was talking about it today. I posted something. So about a year ago, I started Only Media, which is like my PR company, and basically it's helping other indie artists like get their, you know, their names and their music out there, and you know, pretty much what I do, what I've been sending you guys for years, you know what I mean? But doing it for other indie artists, trying to get, you know, get them in other people's ears, and just using the contacts and the relationships that I formed over the years to help others. So, you know, it's needed, and you know, I appreciate Ian bringing that up, man, because, you know, a lot of times that gets lost, you know, is the fact that people just think like all I do is MC and all that. I wish I could just rap, like, you know what I mean? But I do so much other shit because it's just the way my mind works. You know what I mean? I'm all over the place with it. So I want to do so many different things. I want to help so many different people. So.
Word.
I
And
can't say
ill like
it enough, man. I can't say it enough. Like his work ethic is infectious, and I wish that I had that in me all the time. But what this dude can get you to do, like and it's not only that, he teaches you why he's doing it as well. Like I learned a whole lot, you know, just by watching this dude. And one of the things, like the biggest thing that I took away from it is that if you believe in what you're doing, you can't be shy about it. Like if you go in there, like we were talking on earlier, and he was just like, you know, I'm sending out messages right now for this YouTuber or whatnot, and you learn things like that with him. Just make sure you got to keep pushing it. There's no machine behind you. Keep pushing it, man. Like this dude he's a walking, talking machine, man. I know there's no machine behind you, but this dude knew that there wasn't behind him and became a machine himself. So, I mean, I'm glad I'm along for the ride, man. I couldn't be more appreciative of this dude.
Yeah, like I was gonna throw to you, but you kind of summed it up nicely. Is that it's that indie grind, and a lot of people don't understand that indie grind. Like I even have trouble with it myself. Where again, we got HHDG, where I have partners that do the work, but then I have this here to start in 5, where I have to do the lion's share of the work. And I have partners, but I still got to do the bulk of the work. And if you want it, you eventually have to find a way to go get it.
Right.
and you got to do it yourself. And there's too many independents out there that just think, oh, I rap, I throw my shit up on the internet, yo, people come see me, and that's what
Right.
it is. And I'm nice, and I'm this, and I'm that, and shit ain't gonna get handed to you. It ain't gonna
Not.
be, self-delivered to you, especially
Exactly.
if you really, really want it. You got to get it, especially if you're one of those that you want that major deal. You're going to have to do it, whether you sell ass or not. You're gonna have to get out there and do it, one way or another. So salutes to you on that.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're 100% right, man. Like, that's the one thing. If I could leave people with something, anybody watching this, if you're an artist, a producer, whatever, all I can say is, like, if you're passionate about this, even if you don't want to be on a major label or whatever, but if this is something you're passionate about and you care about it and you want to share it with others, you got to work for it. And you can't just expect, like, oh, I'm nice, people are going to listen. Nobody cares. Like, there's so many people that are nice. Like, you know what I mean? There's so much music coming out every day. I saw, like, some meme or some shit today. It said there's like 70,000 new songs a day. So out of those 70,000, what makes you think that you being nice is just going to be good enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want people to hear it, you have to push it. You should work. Like, whatever you do in the process of making music, right? It's hard work, right? You might spend hours, a whole night in the studio, whatever it is. You got to work 10 times as hard for people to hear it, because you're competing with so many different people that are doing the same thing. So that's what I would tell people is, whatever work you put into the product, work 10 times as hard to get the product out there.
Yeah. That's like when the new albums come out almost every
there's
week.
a lot.
There's at least like 30 to 40 different albums easily.
For real.
And it's all in how you push it out there, because the well-known artists and producers out there, they're already going to get the shares and retweets and everything because people know about them.
Exactly. Yo, Ian knows, because I be all in his inbox telling him every time I'm going to drop something to help me promote.
Yep. Same here too.
Yep.
Every few, at least once a month. But I just say, it thinking in wrestling, there's too many mirror matches where you're going to get 100 people that sound just like you, that are doing the same thing as you. What do you do that brings something different? I.e., like you guys with the videos, you do that. You do different. You gotta remain different. You gotta find your niche and loophole to stay different and push it.
Absolutely, man.
Whether you Salt and Pepper push it, or a Tribe Called Quest push it along. Either way, you gotta push it. You gotta push it. Ian.
I like that.
Circling back to the album, tell us your direction with Dream Chaser.
Yeah, man. So Dream Chaser is a different type of song. Like, when you listen to the rest of the album, it's a different song in the sense that it has a newer school vibe to it. However, we're still us on it. Like, and we're still rhyming. We're still talking like truth and passion. And like, so we're not trying to chase the new sound, but at the same time, we're showing like, yo, look, we could do this, and you could do this and still have substance behind it. Like, it could have a meaning. It could be passionate, and it could, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I see too much people nowadays, they all sound the same. They're doing the same type of shit, and there's no real meaning behind it. So I just, we were just talking about it, and it was one of those songs where it's just a dope track. And we knew it would have a place on the album because it's such a dope track, but like, we wanted to make sure we did it how we do songs, you know what I mean? Like, still stay true to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And when you made that song, did you have a singer in mind before Eli Green was on there?
So Eli, shout out to Eli Green on the hook. He was already on the song. So it's funny because this was a joint that was sitting on my hard drive for like 3 years. So I was originally going to do this on another project, and I just had his chorus on it. I gave him the concept, like a loose concept, you know what I'm saying? and he came up with the hook and stuff. And then it just didn't work out where I used it on another project. And when me and iLLa started doing this project, I'm like, yo, I got this track that I've been wanting to do for a minute. What do you think of this? And then, you know, iLLa was like, yo, this is dope. Let's do it. And he's the perfect person to do it with because he's just as versatile as me. Like, I know he looks at it like a challenge. Because sometimes as an MC, you get bored like doing certain types of songs because you know you could do them already. So you like to like switch up the flow and the tempo and like, you know what I mean, the delivery and all that to challenge yourself. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's, you know, it was born that way. I showed it to him, he jumped on it, and then the rest was history.
That's dope.
Now, iLLa. Like, oh, my bad, Ian.
I was going to say, just like the verses last night, Big Daddy Kane went and did that double time flow.
Yeah, just to show these young kids he could do it, and he killed it. He killed it. Yeah, I mean, because that's what a true MC, like, it's not that they can't do this new school shit. It's that sometimes they just don't want to. That's not really their realm. But sometimes you got to show and be like, look, if I wanted to, I can murder this shit too. You know what I mean? Like,
that's facts. And I mean, we've heard Kane on joints as recent as Little Brother stuff or you know, shit like that, and just constantly popping up over the years, reminding y'all little niggas, I still got it. Like, I still got it. I'll still bust that ass. And even tie in KRS-One. KRS-One can go in any era.
Yep.
Any era.
Yep.
But speaking of eras,
yo, before you jump into that, Dan, speaking of that, so last night I was surprised that Kool G Rap wasn't there. I guess it was due to religious reasons or something like that. So he declined to show up. Because if he would have came out during the symphony, I would have lost my fucking mind. Let me tell you. So
I think everybody was waiting for that. Everybody, even the people in the building, was waiting for that. And then KRS said, you know, Kool G just declined to come. But I will say though, Ian, were you there that night at Radio City with us?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then I gotta say, I was from the crew.
Oh, Radio City, yes.
We were fortunate to see the entire Juice Crew perform the symphony for the first time all together on the same stage.
Oh man! Oh shit! Man,
They never did it before until, what was it? I think like the Art of Rap tour or something like that. One of them old nigga hip hop nights, and we was there for it, and it was just like, holy shit! And then rest in peace DMX. We watched him kill it, and then once he got into his 30-minute sermon of prayer, we exited the building after about 10 minutes in because we didn't want to hear it all.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to say we was fortunate enough to see the Juice Crew, the entire Juice Crew, even Marley Marl came out. The first time they ever all performed it at the same time.
Yeah, that's a bucket list moment right there. I would kill for that. Yo, speaking of Kool G too, shameless self-promotion. Me and M-Doc got a track dropping with Kool G Rap on the 29th. So if anybody's watching this, make sure you go and check that out on all streaming platforms. It's called Decadence. It'll be out on 10/29. So
definitely. Now
I'm always promoting.
Now I can finally get into, because we're talking about mega groups and stuff like that. iLLa, Woo Wednesday. Let us know about that track, because I mean, you hit our home of Staten Island and showing love and respect to me, the greatest group and a semblance of MCs ever.
Yeah. I'll let iLLa take that one. iLLa can feel that one.
Yeah, as I was telling you earlier, man, it was a very collaborative effort when it came to the subjects, and Woo Wednesday was Revs. So when we had heard the beat, right away, we both looked at each other and was like, there was a Wu-Tang feel to it. And I think like a week later, he texted me and was like, this is what we should do over it. You know, paying homage to them, putting out a whole bunch of references during it. So being a fan of Wu-Tang, or whatnot, and you know, still remembering sitting in my crib next to the stereo, you know, looking at the back of the, you know, 36 chambers, into the 36 chambers. It was real easy to write. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a group that you have so much respect for and that you pretty much grew up with, and not kind of at points made you want to write. You know what I mean? Like, man, I wish I could be that dope. Man, I wish I can do this. So it was cool to have a track where you could show the respect for the people that made you want to even get into this in the first place, man. And Wu-Tang was a big part of that for me, for Rev, for a lot of people in hip hop. So it was real cool to do. I can't say that enough. And the both verses on it to me is dope. I love that track, man. So it was, I keep repeating myself, but it was just a great track to do. And I'm saying, to pay homage.
Yeah, man, it was one of those joints. It was so easy to write, you know, and like, you know, it's dope for people that are fans of Wu-Tang. Like, you could catch a lot of the little references, whether it be to, like, you know, lines that they've said, or names of songs or albums or aliases or affiliates. So we try to include all that in there for the people, like almost like little Easter eggs in the verses for fans of Wu-Tang. And shout out to my dude Technology on the beat. He's actually from Providence, so Rhode Island gets a mention again. He's the one that did the beat. And as soon as he sent me that beat, I knew we had to do something like in regards to Wu-Tang without like trying to jack the style, but like showing love to them as an influence of ours growing up, you know?
Yeah. It's a dope track to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's all about influence, and yeah, you wanna show reverence to without biting Jack. And like, Ian, I know you caught the beneath the surface line, and the line from one of the tracks in Beneath the Surface, like, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not a lot of people still on that Jizza album.
Yeah. And you actually had a Wu affiliate on the track, DJ Flipside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Flipside. Yeah, he did the cut. So DJ Flipside signed to Hellraiser from Sons of Men. So he goes by Heaven Raiser now. He, you know, he's got a label, and Flipside's one of his artists. So Flipside, you know, he does cuts for people. He puts out mixtapes and stuff. So yeah, man, he's out in Vegas. And I reached out to him because we just followed each other on Instagram, and I was like, yo, I'd love to get you to do the cuts on this. And he was like, absolutely.
See, now that track, I had to open up the whole name on the iTunes while I was driving home today, because I saw Flip, and I said, hold the fuck up. Because no disrespect to him, but my homie, the person who I learned how to DJ from, is my boy named DJ Flip. And I know he hasn't touched his turntables in forever. So I had to check it like, oh, okay. It said Flip Side. Okay. No biting done here. We good. We good.
He killed it too. Flipside kills it, man.
Yeah, he did.
That's on that track is dope.
Now, for both of you, when it comes to wrestling,
what's the next one you want to get into?
What's that? Oh no, I was about to say what wrestling characters would they be?
Oh, what wrestling character? I'll let iLLa go first because he's the true wrestler. So
say that again.
What wrestling character would you be?
Oh man, I gotta play the asshole. I'm saying, like, I think if I feel like I have a knack for getting people mad, so my character would just be somebody that you easily love to hate. You know what I'm saying? A bully of sorts or whatnot. I remember when I used to come out from wrestling, I used to come out to 50 Cent Heat. So right from the jump, they were able to come towards the ring. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my moves are very good power moves, man. So I definitely love playing that big, broad asshole, man, that you know, like, something's about to go down, and the dude that's facing him is not safe.
All right. So level of asshole. Level of asshole. We're rating it between. I'm gonna rate it between. Let's see. Late '90s, early 2000 Triple H to the pinnacle MJF asshole right now. Like, where
Ooh,
would you fall in that? Because MJF is the ultimate asshole. Like, I've never seen a heel work the way he has, especially by his mouth.
MJ. Oh man. I would say I was more of a Scott Steiner asshole.
Oh,
Or I
Scott
could back
Steiner
up
math.
everything. Yeah. Or I could back up everything that I was saying, and you knew that I meant it when I was saying it. So the Triple H one is a really good one, but I would like to say something like Scott Steiner, man. Like, you just know there's trouble coming. I'm not running from nobody. He just always straight in your face.
Gotcha. So another side note before you go, Rev. What's your thoughts on his nephew, Braun Breaker? Which I hate the name. It's a dumbass name.
Terrible.
But we all know Vince and his creative control, and also it's about this because he got to own that name. But what's your thought on him as just a wrestler as right now? Like, the kids to me is blue chip, made for this shit.
So I honestly I haven't watched any wrestling in a minute, man. Like, I haven't seen any of the newer stuff. I haven't watched wrestling probably in, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. But like, for me to answer Ian's question, to go back to that, I'd be like somebody like Undertaker, by the way. Mysterious, like, you don't know if he's good or bad. That kind of be like my thing. But I'll let Ella answer the question because he's more in tune with like the new shit. I haven't watched wrestling probably in like 4 years. Like maybe even longer, probably 5 years, closer to 5 years.
Well, as I suggest to everybody, if you do Wednesday nights, Friday nights, or even Monday, Tuesday, watch AEW. It will bring
That's what Ella keeps telling me. That he keeps trying to get me on AEW.
I think so. I'm more of an Impact guy.
AEW.
Yeah, I'm an Impact fan. Man. I think I love AEW. At the same time, I think everybody there wrestles like the Young Bucks. I do love it at the same, you know what I mean? But I think when you got dudes there that look like, they smaller than me, it's kind of hard to buy that as a real fight. A lot of it seemed over. The matches themselves comes across to me as they actually. I'll actually correct that. The pandemic taught AEW a lot, and
I can agree with that.
They perfected their show. Like, when you watched a lot of it last year, the selling wasn't that good or whatnot. And I still do believe that they have to get to a point where they tell some really good stories. A lot of the shows are based on just new people coming in. I haven't heard anybody say, "Oh, this story is great in AEW." There's always someone new coming in to catch you. You know what I'm saying? That's not a story. That's just Adam Cole. You know
no, I wasn't. I was pointing, saying we haven't talked wrestling yet to hear me talk about how AEW has been telling great stories so far. Because the
Bryan Danielson Kenny Omega match was top notch. It's some of the best wrestling on the planet right now. I am not taking away from that, man. AEW to me is the best produced wrestling show on TV, bar none. I'm just a fan of what I'm a fan of.
I can dig it.
That's it.
You're the third person I ever give love to Impact like that, but I'll let you have that because why not? It's all there to love, and I love me some Jordan Grace. So
yeah. Hey, Josh Alexander, man, that's my dude.
Lucky man right there. But nah, Rev, if that, like I said, AEW gives you ECW vibes with early 2000s, late 90s WWF before they changed to the E. But like Illa said, it's very indie-rific. Like, Tony Khan gives people shots, which is the dopest thing, is he gives people a lot of shots from the indies to come in and do their thing, which opposed to iLLa, I like that the guys are 6 feet tall and whatever, because it feels more realer to me, except for, yeah, the smaller guy taking out people the way they do. I get that. But it is not your Monster Factory WWE, WWF
Well,
like
not
the
not in
old
that
days.
not in that sense. Like I think it was I'm not sure if it's Pat Patterson or if it's Jim Cornette that says, if you have a locker room full of 7-footers, then you don't have any 7-footers. You don't have any giants.
I could,
And
yeah.
I want diversity. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Everybody
yes.
shouldn't wrestle like the Young Bucks. Everybody shouldn't wrestle like the Lucha Brothers. You know what I mean? That's Brian Cage's biggest problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sitting there, you wrestle in a style where you're the 17th best person in this Fed doing it like that.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? But that being said, man, that's not to take away from what AEW is. Like, you know what the best part about the Attitude Era was that everybody had a purpose on the show, from the top of the card to the bottom of it. And that's what AEW does best. From the top of the card to the bottom of it, everybody in the show seems important, and they work, and it just doesn't make it boring. You can buy that anybody there can win, and that's what makes the show exciting.
Right.
So,
And to get
I
off it,
I'm not dissing it. I'm not dissing
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to refer it to, we're trying to sell it to you, Rev. If there's something to get back onto, get back on that. But you mentioned diversity, and I'm gonna end the wrestling talk here. That's the beautiful thing about AEW, is their amazing diversity right out the gate. Because besides they could use a couple more black wrestlers, just straight up and down, but the black wrestlers that they have, Powerhouse Hobbs is killing it. What's his name? He came over from NWA, the FTW champion. Fuck is his name? Ricky Starks is killing it. Sammy Guevara, Mexican from Texas, killing it. And then I love Nyla Rose.
Yep.
Yes, she's trans, but you want to talk about, again, inclusion and diversity. You got Nyla Rose, who's a woman's wrestler, who's a trans ass. Sunny Kiss, beyond openly gay, like creep people out flamboyantly gay. Don't creep me out, because the dude is phenomenal in the ring.
Yep.
And then you got, I mentioned Max Caster. Then you got Anthony Bowens, openly gay. The diversity in AEW as a whole, especially for the world that we live in now, when we're talking about diversity, inclusion, you have to take your hat off and tip your cap to AEW for doing that. So that's all. That's it on the wrestling talk for now. Good question, Ian, because you sent me down a rabbit hole. Exactly. Exactly. We do this over here.
Keep going, right? Now with the new album, couldn't be an album without having EMS members on there. So tell us about that.
Yeah, man. So M-Dot got into producing like at the beginning of the pandemic. So he was actually on tour with the Beatnuts in Europe when the pandemic first hit. So like when Trump made the announcement the borders were closing, he had just did a show the night before, I think in like Switzerland with the Beatnuts. And then he was like, yo, he texted me at like 3 a.m, yo, I gotta come home. They're about to close the borders, and he didn't want to get stuck there. So shout out to him, man. He came home and he didn't slack and just like, just sit at home and do whatever. Like he tried to pick up a new skill. So he started getting into producing. Like he really sat down with it. He used to fuck with it when we were in college, because I met Dot and Mayhem in college. And he used to mess with it a little bit in college, but the rhyming was always his thing. So he picked it back up during the pandemic and really like gave it his full attention. And he did 2 beats on the album, and he's also on the song I've Been. So yeah, man, he's into the production. And then we got Mayhem of EMS on A Game. And that's just, it's fam, what I'm saying? I wanted to involve people we're all cool with. And also too, what is it?
So we got Core on the
hook. Core, yep. Core wrote a hook on keeping on. So, you know, we had the EMS fam, but also shout out to my boy Lou Six. So Lou is in a crew with iLLa called WBB, Whitey Black Brown. So they gotta, yeah. I knew Dan was gonna like that. I was waiting for the reaction.
Everybody loves
Yeah,
So
it, man.
that's just obvious. That sounds too obvious. Like,
so they're working on a project, and he was like, yo, I want to get Lou on this. So we got him. So it's just, you know, showing our side crews love and getting, you know, mutual people involved.
you're not the Uncle Ruckus of that crew, right? You don't trust them new niggas over there. Leaving their nigga essence in there. Yeah.
Don't trust them big nostrils over yonder. No, man, they some of the coolest cats in the world, man. And the producer's white, Lou's Spanish. And we was trying to think of a group name. We were sitting there smoking one day, and somebody said Whitey Black Brown, and it was funny. And that's not indicative of the music, but it was funny. It stuck. The double B works, and we put out dope music, man. I can't wait for people to hear it. I really can't. We got a track out on all. There's a track out from WBB now on all streaming platforms called The Reason, and give that track a shot, man. It's dope. It's dope.
Go check that out, man. That shit's dope. It got a summertime feel to it. The Reason.
Yeah, please, if y'all can send that through, because just the name alone, like that should just trigger a lot of people, especially this woke crowd that we live amongst nowadays. Like,
like,
what the fuck you mean, WBB? That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. But now, as Ian mentioned, all your EMS brothers. What we got to get y'all all on as a crew too. Like, as if you haven't seen, like Ian has did a series with the home team members. So definitely we get y'all WBBs, the EMS, all that. That would be dope eventually, man. We can make that happen. But I want to get to the snap, and I caught that ill Joe Theismann line at the end. I caught that.
Yeah. Yo, the snap, man. So shout out to Gajos. Gajos from Poland did the beat. And when I tell you this dude, when he sent me a folder, this fucking album could have been all Gajos beats if we didn't be careful. Like,
real.
He just sent a lot of heat. And we were trying to, be diverse with it. But, he ended up on a couple joints on the album. He did that one. He did Audio Catalog. And I think that was it, right? He did like 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, man, the snap, it was just, one of those joints. We heard the beat and we're like, yo, this beat is just, it's infectious, and we got to come up with a dope chorus. We actually wrote the chorus together. It was one of the few things that we wrote together. Like everything else, a lot of the other tracks, like, he would write his verse, I would do mine. And, you know what I'm saying? He might be like, yo, I got a chorus for this. Or I'd be like, I got a chorus for that. This is one of the few ones that we wrote the chorus together because we wanted it to have that playful back and forth type of vibe to it. And it just worked so well, man. And then, the idea of it is really just like fucking punch you in the face, like crush everyone, like Thanos type shit. You know what I mean? Like just, take everybody in our fist and just fucking. So that was the aggression behind the verses with the punches and, the metaphors and shit.
Yeah, my man, Catalyst told us we had to take off our wedding rings to write this one.
So leave the wife and kids at home for this one.
Yeah. He was like, we gotta take it back to the essence. So but it was it was mixtape feel like that. That's how we went back to that, like mixtape, just hit him in the face type shit.
No, again, wrapping it up with that Joe Theismann line, I felt it, and I mean, we all seen that Joe Theismann hit.
Gruesome.
We felt that too.
Yo,
we felt
gruesome.
That too. Dude that hits you calls for the ambulance or for the stretcher. You know something bad happened.
Yo, and LT never felt bad about nothing in his life. Let's be honest.
Yo.
LT never felt bad about nothing in his life.
Nothing.
And when
let's
you
be
see him
honest.
like this, when he was like calling for them, I was like, oh man, it's bad.
Well, let's be honest. Has LT ever felt anything in his life? Props to
Probably not.
LT
Probably
though. Props to LT though, the greatest linebacker ever, easily.
He was a monster. I will say that.
Ian?
Oh, go ahead. All right.
No, it's on you. It's on you.
All right. And then what better way to have it than to have a bonus track that's a posse track? Mike Murphy.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that was kind of our way. It was like a little Easter egg type of thing. It's only available on Bandcamp. So there's 2 bonus joints, and you can only get them on Bandcamp if you grab the album, if you purchase the album. So in this streaming era, everybody streams everything. So we were like, yo, let's do a Mike Murderer's joint. And that's kind of like the how we announce the fact that we're doing a project.
That's why I didn't hear that track, because I had.
Oh, yeah.
Streamed it on Apple.
Yeah, I was trying to get people to buy the album, then.
Now I'll cop it for sure, because it's definitely worth every penny that y'all are selling it for sure, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we sold out of the hard copies too, man. They went quick.
I know Ian got doubles. I know he got doubles, man. But definitely, as you said, for a posse track, now I have to go get. This is a great way to end this pod, man. This has been dope, y'all. This has been fun. Definitely gonna get y'all back on, man. Definitely, if y'all doing something up there that we could try to make it to, man. HHDG Media, we make the trip up there, man. We made the trip to North Carolina when we did our free movie night out there. We did trip. We did the trip to DC when we hosted a nice little discussion piece with Tracy Lee when he did his album release. We set up and hosted the album release party for him, man. So, if we whatever we can do, man, to help y'all out and or be a part, or even just to come kick it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
man,
we've been down for a minute and it's past due.
Yeah, man. Well, first, let me just say thank you both for having us. And we'll definitely get something together because, we're going to be doing more shows and things. We just did a show last month in Providence. We're trying to line up a few more. Me and Doc got a show with Acrobatic November 2nd up in Jamaica Plain. And, we're working. So me and iLLa are trying to set up some more shows and stuff. And we'll definitely have to reach out and try to set something up where you guys can come to a show. That'd be fire.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and first I have to ask, what are the COVID laws like up there? Because New York City is bugging. You gotta have a shot in to enter a place, and I ain't getting that shot. And
starting to tighten back up.
It's tightening, so it's tightening back up. Right now in Mass, like it depends on the venue. They're leaving it up to the venue, so the mandates, it's still tight, but like, some of the venues, like the bigger venues, the ones you would want to perform at, they're requiring fucking that you show your vax card, that you wear a mask, that you have a recent test. So you got to do all 3 of that just to get in the fucking door, which is putting a damper on show turnouts. You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers, let's be honest, motherfuckers don't want to go through all that to come to a show. They just don't. You know what I mean? So it's been rough. We had a show canceled. We were supposed to do a show with the Artifacts yesterday, actually, the 17th. It ended up getting canceled because fucking, people it was low turnout. Nobody was going to come. Nobody was buying tickets because of the venue was like, you got to have your vax card, you got to wear a mask, and you got to have a recent negative COVID test within 48 hours.
Damn.
So it's just like, it's rough, man. It's rough out here for performers.
So definitely invite us to the spots that just asked for the test.
Because I'm gonna invite y'all. I'm gonna invite y'all to like the around the corner from the bodega, like low key, like one of them spots.
hoodie and a mask joint.
You know.
Gotta throw the Timbs on real quick to stomp somebody out just in case.
Real dress.
Right.
I feel it. Well, we're done. Like I said, final shout outs on both of y'all. Whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Ella.
I want to give a big shout out to WBB. Big shout out to my man Liz, Mike Murderers, man. My man Chico for coming into the room, and big shout out to my wife.
Yeah, man. Shout out to EMS. Shout out to the Mike Murderers. Shout out to anybody who tuned in and is watching this. Go grab the album. That's all I can say, man. You could check it out. It's on all streaming platforms. Revolutionaries, just go listen to it. If you want to cop it and you want the 2 bonus joints, go to Bandcamp. So yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having us, man. This was real fun.
Thank you.
And again, big ups to y'all homies, Lance and Chico in the comments. They was rocking with us all night. Thank y'all for the compliments. Ian, you know what to do.
Definitely. As always, shout out the whole HHDG Media crew, as ourselves, the man Wiki, T Smith, and my boys, Skelly Top, Rock Vader KB. And on that note,
that's right.
Same peace.
Peace. HHDGmedia.com, people, as you'll see on the bottom. Hit the website. Follow the YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, HHDG Media. Also come through like Chico did. Follow Starting 5 Podcast on Instagram. Suggestion for y'all too. Also add on TikTok to y'all repertoire. TikTok has been fun as hell, yo. And your little video clips and shit like that. Add TikTok on, man. TikTok
I've been hearing that.
It's a special place, and behind the scenes, I'll say why it's a special place.
My wife been trying to get me on it.
Okay, that's dope. But like I said, behind the scenes in a second, I'll tell you exactly what I mean by it's a special place. Peace, y'all. HHDG Media, the podcast. We out. This podcast will be on all the streaming platforms next Monday. We got a dope lineup of shows coming. One came out today with Elder Sensei. Today is Monday, October 18th. We had Elder Sensei and Jake Palumbo. I said it right, Ian, right? Jake Palumbo.
Yeah.
Then we got Malicious dropping on Friday. And what was the other one? There's one that our homie Seven the Panther and E the Mad Assassin. Big ups to them brothers too. They had a nice little billboard ad in Times Square. Seven put up. I gotta try to wait and check that out, man. All of those podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, follow HHDG Media on iTunes, all the podcast streaming platforms. You'll be able to hear those shows on the podcast platforms this week, but you can go to our YouTube, and all of them except for the Malicious episode is up on the YouTube right now. We had some technical difficulties with the malicious episode.
Meticulous. I'm sorry.
Meticulous. I'm saying malicious, meticulous. My bad. Thank you. Meticulous. I should have been a little bit more meticulous in how I pronounce the man's name. But with that being said, once again, we out. Peace. We'll see y'all next episode.
Thank you again.
Thank you.